back. Oh, we're connected, Grundins. Look at that. We're coming across all the pages. We'll do it one more time because I see people already commenting, and I do not see it live on Facebook yet. But I can do it one more time. You know why? Because I like it. Oh, there we are. That's what I was looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Because today we're going to be broadcasting off 10 different Facebook pages. One of them is going to be Grundin's live page. Let's see what we got here. Are we still live here? That one does not look. That one, oh, it's been interrupted. Shh, quiet. We've been interrupted.
Interrupted.
I don't know what happened there, but I see you live over here. Oh, there we go. And we are back. Here I am, Fly Navarro with the No BS World Tour, coming at you live across 10 different Facebook platforms. I see people jumping in from all over the place. I see you shared some stuff. And it's so funny because right before we were going live, my one camera decided I'm not going to work anymore. And I'm like, what? So, ladies and gentlemen, I've got Captain Matt George here live joining. Today, we're also broadcasting live on Grundin's page. Captain Matt is also a Grundin's brand ambassador, just like me. So, which reminds me, I got to send Richard. We are live. So you're right. I am kind of like a DJ here.
You are.
What?
You're the flyest DJ.
That's it. What do we got going on here? How are you today, Matt?
I'm doing well, Fly. Doing well. Rushed home from the office to join you on the show today. Super stoked to be here.
Sweet. Now we've been playing a little bit of phone tag the last couple of weeks to make this happen.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get you on. I see Scotty Mance is in the house. Good to see you, Scotty. You know Scotty Mance? He's from up in Stewart, neck of the woods. He used to run the Boomer.
Oh, yeah, I've met Scotty before.
Yeah, Sweet Cheeks.
Yeah.
Everybody knows him as Sweet Cheeks. At least that's what I call him. He goes way back. Let's see. I'm just opening up all my windows. Make sure I don't miss any comments. Josh Wilkinson is in the house. Good to see you, Josh. Who else is in here? Tommy Guts, good to see you. Hey, Dave, all the way from Australia. We're going to make you famous in Australia. You got to say good morning, mate.
Good morning, mate.
You need some work on it, but we'll work on it.
I spent some time in Australia.
It's still early. So
we actually have an office in Perth and Sydney.
Man, you got them everywhere, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to close this one. Josh Wilkinson. Oh, Scott Edgar. Actually, I was telling you about Scott Edgar earlier from Alaska. He just joined us from Ketchikan, Alaska.
Okay.
So now tell everybody, for those of the people that are joining in a little late, let everybody know a little bit about yourself while I share all this stuff on all the different channels.
Okay. Yeah. Born in Arkansas, raised in New Jersey, moved to Florida about, I'd say 12 years ago. I've been in the maritime industry my entire life, primarily on the fishing side. But for the last 9 years, I've been working for a company called Network Innovations, what is a satellite communications company. And so I head up their global maritime sales. So I'm the VP of global maritime sales for Network Innovations. And Network Innovations has got, we're 16 offices on 5 continents right now. And we basically provide, the hardware, the airtime, everything that keeps the vessels and ships connected. But we also do that on multiple different platforms. So we do military, government, land. We do a little bit of everything.
You're a pretty smart guy for somebody that fishes a lot.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, so, in New Jersey, I had a marine electronics business up until about 2008. And in 07 is when I got my captain's license. I really got into just the offshore fishing. We did a lot of white marlin and blue marlin fishing up there. And in '08, when the economy tanked, you know, all the boat manufacturing came to a screeching halt, and then so did our business. Our business was primarily based around rigging all new boats. So all the new sport fish boats that were built in New Jersey, we were taking care of. And when that all stopped, you know, I still had a young family, needed to figure out a way to provide for everybody. And I went from being in the cockpit to jump on the flybridge and just started running boats, kind of self-taught in the beginning. So I did bumps and pilings here and there, but
That's why they call it a rub rail.
rubbing is racing, right?
Amen,
So,
brother.
so yeah, so I mean, I've always had that passion for fishing, but you know, it's kind of it's kind of interesting. You know, people always ask me, you know, it doesn't seem like you guys make a lot of money doing that, but you know, there's no amount of money that you can be given to actually see that bite. You know, see that fish paddling in and coming in on a short rigger. I mean,
It's an adrenaline rush.
it's just amazing. So, you know, I did that for a few years, ended up in Florida, fished around Florida and different places, Mexico, sail fishing. And further down the road, I decided that I wanted to move my family to Florida. And, you know, my wife kind of gave me the ultimatum that if I was going to move everybody to Florida, then I also needed to get off the boat and get back into the real world and make some money. And that's and that's what, you know, that's what landed me in with Network Innovations. I started as a sales rep. One of my pre-sales engineers that worked for me in my own marine electronics business lived in Florida and was working for this company, and he had heard I was getting off the boat, and basically was like, hey man, you know, if you're really going to do it and put your mind to it and get off the boat and want to make a run at having a career, then you know, come talk to us. And in the beginning, I knew nothing about satellite communications, absolutely nothing, other than I knew maritime. I knew the pointy end and the square end on the boats. And, you know, just quickly learned the products, learned the solutions, and learned the business, and worked my way up from just being a sales rep in Florida to a regional manager to the global VP. So it's been pretty interesting.
So tell me how much hold on a second. There's somebody that wanted a shout out. Call me. I have a young man and he meet you in Moorhead. I want you to send him a text. He cannot read them, although his wife. Okay, cool. Not a problem. I thought somebody wanted a shout out on the live show. But no, he wants me to send him a text. Good morning or good afternoon, Bruce. Good to see you. Also, I want to give a shout out to everybody fishing in the Big Rock tournament. Have you heard that Michael Jordan has a fish in the boat and is on his way to the scales?
I didn't hear that. No, I know he's there.
He's fishing it while Stetson put one in the boat today, and
That's awesome.
on his way to the weigh scale as we speak. Timmy Dean from Australia, good to see you. Man, we got people popping in from all over the places. I'm bouncing back and forth on. So if you see my eyes bounce, just so you know, I'm trying to read all the messages coming in. 420, 430. I guess that's his guess, Scott's guess. Jeff Smith. Maddie!
What's up, Jeff?
I think we were talking about that the other day, weren't we?
Yeah.
About Jeff Smith. Yeah. So he's joined us today. So the other thing I want to let's go into. Oh, there he is, the main man, the Godfather, Richard Pata. Richard, you jumped in just as I was segueing into my next part. So tell me a little bit about. We're both brand ambassadors for Grundens, so we're brothers now, whether we like it or not.
We like it.
So tell us a little bit how you became part of the Grundens family.
Well, Grundens kind of, I was working with electric fishing and Igloo. So there's a guy by the name of Todd Klein that had picked me up for Igloo and electric fishing. And it was great because, I mean, up until I really got into this, I never even realized what the whole fishing sponsorship thing was even about. So, you know, it was kind of neat after you know, social media really started for me kind of as a joke between me and my son, and it really just kind of took off. And when it did, you know, people are reaching out to you and asking you to endorse their products and use their products. They like what you're doing. So this guy had reached out to me, and in the beginning I was like, I'm kind of happy doing what I'm doing. And he's like, yeah, but you have good content, and you have the right I don't know, whatever. I just had the right stuff in his mind to kind of take on some of these brands. So he had asked me about Grundens, and I had already, at the time, I was with another company, a smaller company, and they were taking pretty good care of me. And it was just, I took some pictures in their clothes, they would repost them, and we were helping each other grow at the time. But when he talked to me about Grundens, I was like, wow, that's a huge company, it's a big opportunity. And, I kind of went back and forth with it, and I decided I was going to go for it. He made the initial call to Richard, and I was at a place called PME, the Pacific Marine Expo in Seattle, which is the commercial fishing show. And it just so happened to be my booth and Grunden's booth were almost catty corner. So I would introduce myself to Richard, and he introduced me to Matt. And it really just started there. And the guys put a great package together for me, and just started that relationship. But I could tell instantly, just from our first few minutes of conversation, that it was going to be a really good fit. And then just so happened to be after the fact, after I got signed on with that, Carter Andrews had contacted me and asked me what did I think about Grundens. And I said, well, Carter, it's kind of funny that you say that, but I just basically signed up with them. Then he told me everything he was getting ready to do with Grundens also. So it kind of works out good with us all being in close proximity of one another and kind of doing the same thing, where we have that element of, we still offshore fish, but we still do a lot of inshore fishing as well, which is kind of a little different than the traditional Grundens style of hardcore commercial fishing. So it's nice to see that they're starting to put people in place to be able to, kind of support that type of fishing. And it was good.
You know what? Right now, I have to stop this. There's a big shout out to Matt and the Silent Captain.
That's awesome.
But I have to admit, that's right from Richard. So Richard Pata said that. So let's explain for the people that don't understand. Let's talk a little bit about the Silent Captain.
Yeah, so it started off, that whole thing, again, like I said, the whole social media thing started off. We used to go, I didn't have any interest in any inshore fishing or anything. I had done all the offshore fishing my entire life. And I was super excited about living in Florida because the bass were huge. Go to the golf course, catch a 5-pound bass. In New Jersey, we only ever caught 1-pound bass if you were lucky. And so he would, he'd leave on his bike and come home, and his rod would be all jacked up, line would be broke. And I'm like, man, what are you doing? Like getting it caught in the spokes or something? And he's like, no, catching these snook on the seawall. And I'm like, what is this snook fish you keep talking about? So he would beg me to go snook fishing. So I was like, no, I'm going bass fishing. We're not going snook fishing. So the one day I was like, all right, let me go snook fishing. So I went snook fishing with him, told me what to use. I think it was like a spool tech or some crazy little lure. He's like, just cast it down the seawall and crank it back. I did that. I got thumped. And, next thing you know, I'm fighting this 34-inch fish, which, at the time was not a giant fish. And, he was going nuts. We landed the fish. And at that point I was like, that's it, I'm hooked. So we sold the duck boat and went out like the next day and bought a flats boat and started snook fishing.
Snook is like a bass on steroids.
Oh yeah. So he was pretty hooked in that. There was one day where we caught, it was like, early summer, right before they started spawning. And we had this epic day. I mean, we were struggling to catch fish under 42 inches. And I know everybody's going to be like, oh man, that's a bunch of BS. But it was just one of those days where everything just kind of came together, and all the snook we were catching were 42, 43, 45s, 47s. And we were riding home in the truck, and I just happened to put on my story, Hunter, you've had this epic day, this amazing day. You've caught 5 fish over 40 inches, and we just get all into it. And the kid never even like moved his sunglasses, moved his hat. He just continued to look straight. And I said, and there you have it from the Silent Captain. Well, the DMs that came in from the Silent Captain thing just like literally took off. I mean, absolutely took off to the point where, everybody was like, they want to see more about the Silent Captain. So then I just kind of made it every day we were out fishing. I would talk to him on camera, and he'd just totally ignore me, never say anything, to the point where I would, I'd have him put the boat on the trailer, and then I would take him and I'd ride him around the boat ramp a couple times just for a victory lap. One time I brought him all the way home in the boat, and again, zero emotion, just absolutely nothing. So it is stuck to where everybody knows Hunter now as the silent captain. And I mean, he's met some of the, the biggest people in the industry, and they all know him as the silent captain. So
now, how old is son Hunter?
Hunter is 19.
Okay, so he still has some room to grow.
Oh, he's got a lot of room to grow. I mean, he's tall already. I mean, his mom's got some explaining to do, but I don't ask too many questions, but because I'm short. But he's
Same
pretty
here.
driven. He's out there fishing right now. He's offshore fishing, so he's definitely has the bug. In the beginning, it was kind of like friends fishing, but now it's like if he's got the time, he's going fishing, whether it's inshore or offshore, and he's really good at what he's doing. So he's learning the ropes.
I hold on a second. I'm just answering somebody.
Carter has called me twice. If we want to
That's who he says he doesn't have a password. I gave him the password, but then I'm sending him another link. See if he can get in that way. Hey Spanky, how are you from Team Galati? Good to see you. Do you have a dog in your house?
Me?
Yeah.
I have 2 dogs.
Okay. Because their timing is impeccable. Every time I've talked, they bark, and I'm wondering if it was feedback from my microphone. But as long as oh, wait a second. Now we got Smack coming in. Curtis McGilvery, who I go giant tuna fishing with every year. I'm sure you've seen the guy with the big giant head.
Yep.
Anyway, so he just says, Fly, you will never be a silent captain. There's one thing I know how to do is talk. Yeah. Also, there was somebody else I wanted to give a shout out to. It was him. I see Josh Wilkinson. We had a friend growing up that had a big head, so we called him Big Head. Even his mother eventually called him Big Head. So here's the funny story about the Big Head and Curtis. A couple of years ago, so he's a lobster fisherman, and I don't know if you've seen any of the pictures that I've posted up lobster fishing. It's with him, and he's one of those guys. He's like me. He's a ball buster. He's always teasing somebody. And this one guy said something, and Curtis it looks like you gained some weight over the winter. And he goes, hey, listen, I can go on a diet, but your head is so big. He goes, it is so big that if somebody gave me an opportunity, whether I want $1 million or your head full of nickels, I think I'd take the head full of nickels.
That's a big head.
That's a big head. And I would take his head full of nickels. Yeah. But he's a great guy. I love fishing with him every year. I've threatened to quit doing all my other stuff just to go lobster fishing with him. And you know what his answer to that is? I'll quit lobster fishing.
Right.
So that would be the longest part of his season. Let's see. I see some other people joining in. Let me go back to Grundon's page. Tell us about the experience with the 100 sailfish. Richard, we're working on it. This is all this is a step-by-step process, but we're going. That's going to be my next question. And that's actually how I got to know you, because while you were going on this quest of 100 sailfish, you started tagging my company page on Instagram. And I have this, it's just what I do. When somebody tags me, I share everybody. The only time I don't share is if you send me like 7 pictures in one day.
Right.
Then I just I'll walk through and find the best one. And you were going on this quest for 100 sailfish in a season. You started tagging me on it, and here I go, and I started sharing it. And little did I, hey, I want to know. Okay, we got you. Hold on. Carter Andrews is still having some issues. We were trying to make it a surprise for everybody. But it's thinking. Okay. He says he needs to update. I'm pulling the invite right from my live feed.
It worked for me the second time. So
Pulling invite from my live feed. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Well, so much for the surprise. We're gonna get we're gonna get Carter Andrews in here as well. So anyway, that's how I got introduced to you as you were on this quest to 100 sailfish.
yeah.
So if you can let everybody know, tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah. So, I mean, to kind of go on from where Hunter and I really started with the inshore fishing for us down here. I mean, I had always bill fished and sail fished when I had the big boat down here. And so we started in just an 18-foot Maverick flats boat. And we were just, in the summertime, on flat days, we'd venture offshore and we'd chase sailfish. And we've had some good days. I mean, we've had a day where we caught over 10 sails on a little 18-foot flats boat. And, it was just always something in the back of our mind. Well, the end of that year that we had that good summer, I had purchased a Isla Bay boat. Just wanted something that gave us a little bit more security. We really enjoyed getting offshore. And the weather's not always nice in Stewart. So, and we weren't staying in just little skinny water. So it was nicer to get something, a little bigger, a little more freeboard, a little more fuel, and be able to do that. So we bought that boat in November, and we started sail fishing. So in January, at the end of January, we were joking around. It was like the second day of February, and we were 2 for 3 at the time, and we were just joking as we hooked up on another fish. And Hunter looked at me, and I said to him, I said, how many of these things do you think we could actually catch in a year? And he was like, I don't know. He's like, let's just worry about how many we can catch today. And I was like, but we've caught 11 in January. And what do you think? Do you think 100, we could catch 100? And Hunter was like, yeah, I think we could probably catch 100. And my camera guy was there that day, this guy, Tommy, and he was like, we should try to catch 100. And, that basically became where we actually physically started counting every fish and documenting every fish throughout the year. So, we had, I think it was 12 different anglers throughout the year. I had someone had DM'd me what were the stats. So I had put all the stats together, but ended up being like 56 trips. It was 12 different anglers. And I forget how many, 3,000 yards of 50-pound leader and 5 boxes of VMC hooks and X amount of dollars in fuel. But on December 30th, we ended up catching the last fish. And I was not with Tommy or Hunter because, Tommy was somewhere with his wife. Hunter was doing something with work, and, it was getting to be crunch time. Like earlier that month in December, we had bumped into like an older guide, and he was following it too. And this Captain Mike Holiday had said to me, how many do you have right now, Matt? And I think we were at like 96. And he's like, well, you better hurry up and catch those last couple fish because it's gonna be shitty the rest of the month. And I'm like, it's December 2nd. I got plenty of time to catch this. And we laughed at him and put the boat on the trailer and went home. And I was like, who's that guy telling us it's gonna be crappy the rest of the year? And sure enough, it was really bad the rest of the time. And we got out there on December 30th, and the few boats around me were catching fish, and we had one bite, and we pulled the fish off. That would have been number 100. 2 days before that, I hired a camera boat to come out and fish directly next to us. The camera boat ended up catching 3 sailfish, and we caught none. And it was just one of those things where I was like, it's not going to happen. So I had heard Scott Fawcett on the radio had said that he had caught 1 out of 2 or caught a double in 160 foot, and we were in 120. And I said to my buddy, I'm like, we're gonna finish this drift. We'll pick them up and we'll run out there and see what happens. It was getting kind of late in the day, and he was like, all right. So he goes to pick up a rod, and I'm like, no, you don't pick up any rods. And we don't want you to catch the number 100 fish. So I cleared the first line. I still left the dredge out. I cleared the second line. On the third line, as I was coming in, as it got close to the dredge, it got picked up. And, basically we came tight, and the fish started jumping. And, for the next 5 minutes or whatever it took for us to grab its bill, it was pretty intense. And so we ended up catching the number 100 fish, and the whole fleet, because I basically spent the whole summer, fall, and winter out there with guys like VJ Bell and Pat Price, and all those guys knew I was trying to catch 100 fish on that little boat. And so Pat Price actually came by that day and took a picture of us holding the flag up in the boat offshore, right after we caught the 100 sail. So it was pretty cool, pretty rewarding to just set a goal like that. I mean, it's common for the big sport fish boats to go out there and catch 100 fish, but it's not all that common to do it on a little bay boat. That's for sure.
So I need to come in with a couple of comments here. Number one, John Brooks on the Ditch Digger says, "Wow, I know that guy." His second comment says, good job, fly fish. You found someone who talks more than you do." I don't know. I give everybody the opportunity to talk more than me when we're on the podcast.
I love Johnny Brooks, though.
Johnny Brooks. So that brings up another good, for those of you that have seen my pictures, but have not seen, hello, Hunter. How are you? And I don't think that's your son. That's Hunter Moody. That's on YouTube. Johnny Brooks was the one that sent me, Johnny Brooks was the one that brought me the sailfish chain, the billfish chain. But I heard rumor that you were actually the first person to have the original sailfish chain.
Yep, we had one long, early on in our counting. I went out and put one together, and it was a big, the gold wrapper chain, Run DMC chain with a gold sailfish on it, and even took it a step further, and we spray glued it and sprinkled it with gold glitter, so that thing was, you could see the bling from miles away. And the day we caught the 100 fish, I wore that thing proudly all over Port Salerno.
I don't take mine off the Princess Lily.
Yeah.
John brought it for the Princess Lily, and for me, that's just kind of that's where it stays. Hold on, I'm try your phone. Carter Andrews for some reason is having a hard time joining in. Colin O'Neill's joined us. Let's see who else. We got people. Mike Southerner, what's going on? Cubano. I also have to comment Matt George and Hunter on all the catch and release they do. So you all of your sailfish, all 100, you released all of them.
All of them except for everyone was released. We never killed one. And I think when I got down to it, I think there was 87 of them that were actually built up and complete hook out. But there were some where, we would have scenarios where we'd have a double or a triple on. And obviously we're not wasting the time to get the hook out of either the first or second fish to get the third fish. So, but for the most part, I think it was 87 fish total where it was actual, bill wrap, take a hook out, and release the fish cleanly.
Beautiful. Real quick, I got to ask this question. Oliver, do you know Matt George here? Oliver is another one of our brand ambassadors, but from the UK. He's Grundon's ambassador in Europe, and he joins our live feeds every once in a while. He's trying to get me to go to the UK and go fishing with him, which I said absolutely.
Yeah.
I know. I have a feeling after this whole COVID thing is over, I think I'm going to do 6 weeks in Europe. I was supposed to go to Sweden to go to the Stockholm Fish Show and hang out with Grundon's Europe over there with some of the brand ambassadors. And because of COVID, it got shut down, but I've stayed in touch with all of them. We've all done a bunch of talking back and forth, and everybody says, "Hey, you got to come fishing." And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just going to fly over there and just ride the train from country to country. My ultimate goal, I'm going to finish it up, is going to be with the Codfather. Do you know who the Codfather is?
I've heard of the Godfather, but I don't know.
Well, the Codfather is one badass mofo. This guy is the real deal. So he lives in Norway, and I went to Norway. Me and my girlfriend went to Norway a couple of years ago to see the Northern Lights, and I was doing a live feed, and sure enough, he's like, "Oh, you got to come down," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm so renting a car," but it was like a 6-hour drive,
Right.
so I'm like, "No, I'm coming back." Oliver, he doesn't know you, but now you guys know each other. I'll make sure I hook you guys up on Instagram. I believe, Oliver, correct me if I'm wrong, you're real nomads. Just checking. Okay. Oh, thank you, Richard. I appreciate that. I'm gonna ask him that question, Richard. So there's a handful of people that know the inside track of you can ask me the questions on here, or you can text me directly. And Richard Marney is one of those. He knows how to get a hold of me where I answer his question. But Richard Pata had a question first, and I want to ask you, what would be your dream fish to catch and location?
So I was supposed to go do that before COVID, and that would be black marlin on the flats in Australia. So
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
That's pretty cool. I've seen the videos. That's some pretty awesome stuff.
they're not big fish, but it's just amazing that you know what a black marlin turns into later in life. To catch that thing in 4 feet of water on a fly rod would be just epic for me anyway.
When they're only about 40 pounds.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a cool bucket list fish. One of
Yeah,
the things
I had that all planned out. We were supposed to go do the Sanctuary Cove boat show in Australia, and then I was going to stay another week to be able to do that as well.
wait a second, did I see? No, I thought I saw Tarzan jump in there. Hi, Mom. So Mom is our den mother while I'm up in Canada. She and I tell everybody this. So sorry, all you guys. That see you later there, Johnny. Ditch Digger's leaving. When I go giant tuna fishing, every third day is seafood day, and she makes us our fresh haddock. She wakes up every morning at 3 o'clock in the morning, and she makes freshly fried haddock.
Very nice.
And then Johnny King, a different John, he comes in here and he says his bucket list fish is bluefin tuna in Nova Scotia. But he says that because he comes fishing with me every year.
Oh, okay.
He's counting down the days.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to go back to Richard Marney's question because he texted to me and now it came in here and he spelled the word right. Please tell me more about the responsibilities as well as the benefits of being a quote unquote brand ambassador.
So I mean, I would say your responsibilities is, to show that you're a good steward of the sea, and the environment, and what's going on with water quality and things like that, but also to embrace what the brand stands for, and make sure that you're being a good representation of that, and we try to do that daily. I know when Carter first talked to me about him coming on, his concern was, oh man, Grundens, they're so embedded with commercial fishing. And I explained to him, just because we have offices in the Pacific Northwest, just about how regulated that fishery actually is. Like, it's not a rape the ocean type mentality. And he was a little concerned about that in the beginning, about, it's different than how we fish here in South Florida. And I explained to him that, they have a certain quota. They can catch so many metric tons. And once that quota is met, they have certain means to be able to do that. NOAA and NIPS is watching them the entire time. Everything's being recorded on deck, and the holds, their bycatch, pretty much everything is being done the right way. And it's heavily regulated. So it's a little different mindset than what I think some people have in the very beginning. But that's our jobs as ambassadors to make sure that, what Grundon stands for, that we live that and we're showing that through our social media channels.
I think that's a great way to describe it. I think it's a great way to describe it. My biggest thing for me is especially with Grundons, is I feel like we're part of a family. Anytime I've gone up to Paulsbo, anytime I've met any other brand ambassadors, like you see Oliver in here, Sean Witt, I talk to quite a bit. Even my tournament I put on in Saudi Arabia, and I didn't even know him. He was a brand ambassador from Italy. He showed up with all these Grundons clothes, and I asked him. He goes, "Oh no, I'm a brand ambassador for Grundons." So automatically, we hit it off. So I really feel no matter where you go in the world, you have like this network of a family of recreational fishing. You got some questions coming in? I see you reading.
No, I think Carter just texted us again.
Yeah, we can't repeat what he said.
Okay.
He just says he's so sorry. He was looking forward to this. He said, "Carry on."
Okay.
I think he got a little frustrated. Which, listen, I get frustrated with computers all the time. And just so you understand how frustrated I get, and then just how hard-headed I am. Just as we went live, my camera shut off, and I had to switch back to the HD or to my FaceTime camera, and it's just so much more clear with the nice camera. And every time you were asking a question or answering a question, I was messing around with it until I got it working. So I know I get frustrated very, very easily as well. Yes, you're right, Oliver. It is a brilliant family. It's neat how everybody connects. And in today's world of social media, it's a huge thing. It really is, because we can all stay together. I know for my company page, because I've connected with guys like you and Oliver and Sean, I get tagged in so many pictures, and then I share it all. It's almost, when I wake up in the morning, all of Europe has already tagged me in all their photos.
Yeah.
So it's, as I'm drinking my coffee, it's going on. It's just nonstop. So damn it, we missed out on Carter. We'll have to get Carter in on another day.
Yeah, he said he would come and do an episode with you for sure.
Okay, perfect. John King says well supported. So now what's your next are you going for 200 this year?
We're at 47 right now. So, I think we're on pace, especially with the summer months coming up. I mean, for me, with the summer being, it's nice, it's flat. I get the fish quite often during the summer, and the fishing is really good off of Stewart in the summer. Sometimes we got to run a little bit to catch the fish, but I can stack the numbers up during the summer months because I know the weather's going to be good.
How many days a week do you think you go fishing during the summer?
I try to take all my vacation. I'll say this quietly so my wife doesn't hear me, but I try to take all my vacation time, during the summer. And me, I travel, for a living. So I'm okay to not go anywhere when I'm home. So I'm okay just going fishing out of Stewart and feeling like I'm still doing something. And I know that drives her nuts because
she wants to go somewhere.
She wants to go somewhere special. Yeah. So I would say, summertime, I usually try to take every Friday and Monday off.
Okay.
And I just make it to where I have a 4-day weekend. And then I try to do a day offshore, a day inshore, and a day with the family.
Oh, so it works out perfect.
Yeah.
Did she hear you?
Yeah, she's coming down the steps right now, actually.
I saw your eyes. I saw your eyes look off to the side, and I'm like, she heard you, didn't she?
She's giving me the eye. Yeah,
she can come on. Hey, listen, fishing is family. You can get her in here so she can tell everybody what it's like.
Now you're just like we can't repeat what Carter said. We're not going to be able to repeat what she said. You have the button you can bleep her out?
I do have a button if we had to, but she can come on and tell us what she enjoys about fishing if she wants to come in.
You want to tell them what you enjoy about fishing? She's heading out the door.
Well, that's perfect. She can't use the excuse of my hair's not done. I don't have the right clothes on, which I get all the time. I did a interview earlier, and all I got was the screen. I'm like, come on, let's.
Right,
I'm here to talk to you. No, nothing at 8:30 in the morning. It's like,
right.
man.
Yeah.
Uh, Shep Drury says, pretty work, Matt.
Thank you, Shep.
So let's see. Corey says he tries to go fishing 306 days out of the year. He's fully retired, and that's why he goes fishing every single day.
That's perfect.
Well, that's why I don't want to retire, because what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I I'm going to go fishing anyway, so might as well just do it.
Might as well get, yeah. I guess you're right.
You know, um, I just keep working, keep creating content. It's what I love to do, or keep getting other people to go fishing.
Yeah.
That's what I really enjoy.
Yeah. No, it's fun to get other people out there and get to share with them, what you're passionate about.
That's
See,
for me, that's a big thing.
oh yeah. Yeah. And especially the ones that get it and share the same passion. It's pretty neat to see.
I I enjoy, it's funny, the big rock's going on this week. And I had somebody call me up, hey, you want to come? And I'm like, I could move my schedule around. But over the past few years, what I've ended up doing is I end up going fishing somewhere else with people who had never caught a blue marlin. And
Right.
then there's no money on the line, so there's no pressure, and everybody's just enjoying being out there.
Yeah.
And that's what I enjoy.
Yeah.
That's, for me, that's a big deal.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I
uh,
try to push that. I try to push that in, on the kids too. If I have Hunter and his friends out there, and they're constantly on their phones to see what all their friends are doing and what they're catching, and I'm always pushing on them, like, at the end of the day, there's going to be someone that's caught more than you did today. Someone's going to catch more than you did tomorrow, and after you're long gone, there'll be someone else that's still catching them. So
aim,
just go out and enjoy it and make the best of it, because you start. Uh, Being that competitive and taking it that serious, at the end of the day, you ruin it for yourself and you ruin it for everybody else too. And that's not really what it's all about.
I talk about the big rock. We've become very good friends. The first year I fished with him, last day of fishing for us, our fourth day, we hook a little fish, not a very big fish, 200 pounds, goes jumping. We fight him maybe 20 minutes, pull the hook, and he gets so mad. Lines were out, tournament's over for us, and he's all pissed off. And I'm like, hey man. He's like, don't talk to me, not right now. Give me 10 minutes. I'm like, no, dude. I go, we've had a great week of fishing. That
Yeah.
didn't have nothing to do with us winning or not winning. We just pulled the hook. And do not end a great week of fishing and getting to know each other, getting to know everybody by the fact that we just pulled the hook. It happens.
Yeah.
You're not going to catch everything. Don't be mad.
Oh yeah.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah, there are people that are out there that are that way though, that they'll just blow a gasket if a fish comes unbuttoned, or things just don't go right, and it does, it sets the tone for the rest of the day. And I think you got to stay positive. You never know when it's going to happen or how it's going to happen. And perfect example is I just did the Florida Sport Fishing Magazine TV show, and we did 2 days of fishing and 2 days of filming, and it was to be to be an offshore show. And we get out there the first day, we catch some sails and a small dolphin. The next day we go out and it's a little different conditions, and we find an edge. We found a flopper. We run over to the flopper and catch that fish right away. And I'm like, wow, that happens, but it doesn't happen like that. Like, you tell the camera, we're going to get this fish, and you roll over there, your second bait out, and you're tight. And not 20 minutes after that, I told them that we're just going to work this little weeded up edge line. And we have another rod go off, and I grab the rod and really come tight. And at first, when it first jumped, I called it a sailfish. I'm like, it's a small sailfish. And the host of the show, Captain Sam Atwell, yelled at me. He's like, no, Matt, that's a huge mahi. And I had to look again, and it jumped again. And I was like, oh, wow. And it's like, that just never happens. And had we been, oh, we caught a sailfish, we're good for the day, we don't need anything else, that opportunity would have never presented itself that way. And it did. And man, I mean, it just made the end of the show just absolutely amazing. I mean, you can't plan that stuff, and you got to go out and just keep fishing till the end, and win, lose, or draw, make the best of it.
Amen to that. Now you have a question coming in. Mike Carr wants to know, what is your biggest fish lost?
Biggest fish lost would have to be blue marlin, over 500 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, we've had some snook that were probably pushing 48 to 50 inches, in that range, that we've lost at the side of the boat. And that's kind of heartbreaking. They're like, you bite your tongue and, and say a few things to yourself, but it happens. So, but yeah, blue marlin would be the biggest fish that I've lost.
That's fishing.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, that's fishing.
And I think you have to have one or two of those types of losses in your fishing career, because if you don't, I mean, you got to have something that keeps driving you back
over and over
and up early and doing what we do, and continue to keep fishing.
The biggest one I know I've ever lost was a black marlin. That we had the gaffs out. I posted the video a couple of weeks ago. It was over the mark, and ended up getting either tail wrapped or wrapped around something where it wouldn't fight properly, and she ended up getting eaten by sharks right up underneath the boat. So after 3.5 hours into the dark.
That's heartbreaking.
It was so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But again, that's part of it.
Yeah.
That's part of fishing. You got to go after, you're constantly going after for the next one.
Yeah. Suck it up and go get another one.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. Let me see. I just bouncing around all the different pages, make sure I haven't missed anybody. Is there anything that you want to add? Is there anything you want to say, or have I missed anything?
No, I don't. I mean, I think we've covered most of what we were talking about. I mean, we could talk a little bit about SATCOMs on boats if you want to get into something like that.
It's up to you. That's your business.
Yeah.
When you're out there, you're on a little bay boat and you're miles and miles offshore. How do you stay connected?
So like I use just a little device.
Oh, there you go. I love props.
Product placement. So it's just a little Iridium Go. You basically can download an app and use your cell phone, your smartphone, as a sat phone. So you can just leave this in the cockpit or wherever you want to leave it, and you can have up to 5 users. It'll last about 5.5 hours on continuous use, and then 15.5 hours in standby mode. But it's great pole-to-pole coverage. You can download your Rolfs report. You can send SMS text messages. So a lot of the big sport fish guys up in the Northeast are using the Iridium Go to send text messages to one another.
What's one of those plans run like?
So, I mean, you can get a plan as cheap as $99 a month, depending on how many minutes you want. You could do a like a postpaid plan where you pay every month for whatever type of minute package you want, whether it's 75 minutes on up to 1,000 minutes, whatever you're thinking that you want. And they work good. They're water resistant, and it's a great little device to have. I mean, there's tons of different models. This is kind of unique from the traditional handset type model, like something like that. So because you have to use this as the phone, so it's nice to be able to just use your smartphone as a phone, and it makes it easy because it's what you're used to using all day.
Kurt Pratt says, "What a great safety item for crossing to the Bahamas."
Absolutely. And the nice thing about that, Kurt, is you can take it off the boat with you. It's not permanently mounted like we sell systems that you permanently mount on the big boats. Just very similar to like what KVH offers or any of those types of brands. But this you could take with you. So if you're in the hotel room, you're at the beach, wherever you are, going on business travel. If you hunt when you're not fishing, you can take it hunting. You can pretty much do whatever you want with it. So that's why I kind of like to push this one and support this one as the smaller model for something that just does, your text messages, weather files, and just really keeping you connected to the rest of the world.
Beautiful. Dominic Lacombe Jr.?
Yeah, love Dom.
He says, "Hey dudes." The ravioli roller himself.
Did he sell his truck yet?
Why was it up for sale?
I thought I saw it for sale.
Dom, is your truck for sale? It could be. You never know. Kevin Dearman's in the house. Good to see you, Kevin. Just jumped in. What's the name of that cell phone sat link? Vincent James just joined in.
It's called the Iridium Go. And our company is Network Innovations. So right out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
There you go. Now you have another question. What is your favorite eating fish?
Favorite eating fish? I'm hoping this was not one of my smart ass friends, but I'm a big fan of just eating mahi. I'm a mahi guy.
Are you really?
Yeah, yep. And my buddies break my stones all the time about there's so many better fish to eat out of the ocean, but man, I'll fish all day to get one mahi to take home.
All right. Well, that question was part A of a two-part question. The second part is who's the better cook, you or your wife?
Oh, for sure she is.
Good answer.
Yeah,
good
sure.
answer.
She's not even here, but just in case the place is bugged, we're gonna go with that.
Bugged. We're broadcasting across 10 different platforms here. She could be watching and we don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Same Kurt. Do they offer a plan where you can activate it and deactivate it, like for summer trips?
Yes. Yeah. And then there's I don't remember the exact name of the plan, but there's an emergency plan to where basically you just buy a package, it's active for the whole year. And then if you use the minutes, let's say if you haven't, nobody can plan when they're going to have an emergency. So it's for some people, if they're just using it like for a ditch bag or something like that, then you could buy the emergency plan, you pay for it for the year. And if, God forbid, if you have to use it, you pay the $1.50 a minute or whatever it is when you're calling somebody to save you. So then you don't have to worry about activating, deactivating or anything. It's ready to go. Man,
you got to love that. Same Kurt Pratt says hogfish for sure. Favorite.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorites. That's right up there. I have to agree with your friends. Mahi is kind of low on my list, but the good thing about mahi is it fills in for so much.
Oh yeah.
You can fry it, you can saute it. It's almost like Bubba Gump. Shrimp. I kept wanting to say grump.
Yeah, for me, just some mahi nuggets. Oh man, it's just that's just one of my favorite. I'll never turn that down.
We've been interrupted. We have late breaking news. Dun, 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 dun. Michael Jordan's fish weighs 442.3 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, so we still haven't broken the fabulous 500.
Nope.
For those people that are familiar with the Big Rock.
Yeah.
442. So all those fish are right there in that 400-pound range.
Yep.
So
get one though.
Thank you, Mr. Rustin. I appreciate it. There's $500,000 on the line for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just for that first one over 500. So, Junior, do you want to throw a price on that page right there? You can put it. We'll sell it right now. I'm sure somebody wants that truck. I didn't even know he had it up for sale.
I thought I saw something about it. Tell them to drop that price to like $25K. It'll move in a half hour.
I would say that I would buy it for $25K, but it's always at the mechanic shop. So I would need another $25K just to support it.
It looks like it's got a lot of accessories on it. It's got more accessories than an erector set for sure.
It's a nice truck.
Yeah.
Drought, You're very welcome. You've just got your, it's funny because everybody's been posting all the videos or pictures of the no BS stickers as I sent them out. And I was sending them out in like batches. And the last batch went out. On Saturday. No, I'm sorry, Monday, this Monday. And everyone's like, hey, where's my stickers? Where's my buffs? And I'm like, hey, man, they went out in batches. I didn't go out with a giant push cart. Here,
Right.
There's 500 of them.
They'll end up everywhere across the planet for sure.
Well, the best part is all of them had the sticker of my face on it.
Right.
On the outside. So every single male guy is like, who is this crazy guy? Which is the best.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to need to get in line on that. Mickey or Mike, now you know why I didn't answer your call. I will, I'll call you back as soon as I'm done. Mike Callahan, my buddy, just FaceTimed me and I shushed him. You got, I need a sucker to buy it. You guys are too smart. I don't even want to say it. Michael, what's going on? Good to see you. Any questions for Matt George before we wrap this up? I'm going to give you a quick rundown. He caught 100 sailfish last year. He's the originator of the billfish chain. His favorite fish is dolphin, even though it's like number 10 on everybody else's list. His wife, he's afraid of her, just like you're afraid of your wife. Let's see, what else did I miss? He's a Grundon's brand ambassador, just like me. He's into tech, just like you. Actually, I should hook you guys up together. You guys would be really good information. He does a lot of cybersecurity. Not a lot of, that's what he does, cybersecurity.
Yeah, we're just starting to get into cybersecurity on the bigger ships. Some of the bigger ships are now, they're required to have cybersecurity.
Well, you know what, Mike? There you have it. So, you know what? I'm going to get you, Matt, on one of my podcasts with Mike and his cybersecurity team. And we'll
Excellent.
talk about it. That's what we're getting ready to start launching here in the next week or so. Scott, did I miss anything? Scott said, hey, man, best recap ever. I'm trying to go through. Oh, and Michael Jordan weighed a 442.3. Hi, Miss Carrie Burris. I can't forget the GOAT. It's pretty funny to see everybody's video of Michael Jordan walking down the dock.
Walking down the dock, yeah.
And you know, I being in this industry for as long as I have, you run into a lot of well-known people, and you don't want to bother nobody. You really don't. If they walk by your boat, hey man, what's up? And but I feel kind of bad for the guy he's going down to his boat for a day of fishing, and there's a bazillion cameras watching him.
Paparazzi. Well, but then the Last Dance just wrapped up. So,
yeah.
So everybody was locked in for COVID, so they're all fueled up on just watching all those episodes. So
and it's so funny. The other day I went on a binge watch. I did 30 for 30, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, then went right into the Bad Boy Pistons, and then episode 9 and 10 of The Last Dance. And it was like, oh
yeah.
So we're all in the mood for, we want our sports back.
Absolutely.
So on that note, Matt, I'm going to ask you just to hold up right. Oh, wait a second. You know what? My bad, Mike. I know you asked this question and I totally forgot to ask him. What part of New Jersey are you from?
Cape May.
Cape May, New Jersey. There you go, Mike. Mike asked that earlier and I forgot. Oh, you got a couple other ones here. There are fly head stickers all over my house. So Josh, he has an 11-year-old son, Liam, who watches all of the lives. And I sent him a whole stack of stickers.
So they're everywhere.
They are everywhere. Oh, you know what? And I see him just joining in at the last minute. How much tagging do you do with all your sailfish releases?
So we haven't done any. It's funny that you say that. We haven't done any until this year. So this year we're actively tagging our fish. But
and the reason I say that, because Peter Chabanzai from the Billfish Foundation just joined in. So
Yeah, we thought about it, but it was kind of late in the year last year at the end of 2019 when I thought about, man, I should be tagging all of these fish throughout the year. So this year we're doing it.
well, you do know that the tagging season starts November 1st.
Yes.
So you could have jumped in right there at the end. Oh, look, Gretchen Smith joined in as well. We were just talking about you, Gretchen. All good, of course. All good. All good.
Gretchen's good people.
Mike says he was there last week. And let me see. I forgot to jump on this last page. There, I have one question here. I want to give it to you. Matt, what have you ever worked in the mountains, like in the Pacific Northwest, like camping or hiking, and you have a smartphone to call? Oh, for your satcom.
Yeah. So we have an office in Seattle. We have a office in Dutch Harbor, and then also in Kodiak. So primarily, most of what we're doing up there is maritime focused, but we have guys that use the Iridium Go and other handheld sat devices when they're hiking or they're hunting or just just out and about up there in the Pacific Northwest, and they work just fine. So with the Iridium brand, it's pole-to-pole coverage. So you get pretty good reception, providing that you have a clear line of sight, and usually no problems at all.
How about cloud cover?
It goes right through the clouds, no issues.
Okay.
But we do get the guys that are like, man, I can't get my phone to work, and I'll ask them, where are you at? Well, I'm in my kitchen, and it won't register. I'm like, well, yeah, you
got to go outside.
You need to go outside so it can see the satellites.
Too funny. So, all right. On that note, you stick right here. Don't hang up. Yep. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us on whichever platform you're following, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, you name it. We're out there. We're trying to tell the world about fishing and what we do and how much fun it is in between the bites. Oh, even Kenton Gear. Do you know Kenton?
I don't know if I know Kenton.
You need to know Kenton because Kenton is also part of the Grundens family. He is on Instagram. He's Vicious Cycle.
Okay.
And he crushes the tuna. Crushes them.
I will friend him after this. Tell him to look for One More Bite 7-2.
There you go. You heard it, Kenton. He's out in Hawaii. You know what we should do is make a round table one day of about 5 or 6 of us.
That'd be cool.
That would be kind of cool. I have the tech. I think I can get 20 people on at the same time, but that's just way too many to do one of these lives. Yeah. It's just everyone's talking on themselves. But I would really like to do a nice round table about either sailfishing or something like that.
That would be cool.
That'd be way cool.
It'd be good to get somebody from each level of that too, from like the basics of what I do in a little bay boat up to your full blown 2 mates, 6 dredges, guy in a tower, the whole professional crew. Right.
All righty, Richard Pottite, you're on notice, buddy. We're so gonna do this. We are so gonna do this. You know what? I'm gonna need a little help from Richard, but I say we try to get it done within the next 14 days.
That would be awesome.
I think we can make it happen. And me, I try to make shit happen. So, all righty, people, all you cool cats and kittens. Absolutely. Let's definitely talk about Big Eye at some point with the East Coast guys. I would love to. Actually, I was talking Big Eyes with Seth Funt last week. So, but Kenton, maybe we should get you out here one time on the live broadcast from Hawaii. Oh, there he is. Richard says, I'm on notice. All right, you cool cats and kittens. I'm going to let you guys go. Matt, sit tight. Thank you so much for joining us. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. And we will come back at you tomorrow, mañana, and see what we can talk about then. Peace out, people.